everyone. This is Advocate Dr. Sheetal Babar, and today we shall be discussing about right to religion. Right to religion basically has been a group of rights underneath Part 3 of Indian Constitution. Article 25 to Article 28 speaks about right to religion of every person. However, I would say Article 25 is the parent article, and Article 26, 27, and 28 are the advances to Article 25. Why do I say Article 25 is a parent article concerned to right to religion? Because it gives a very basic right of freedom and practicing, propagating, and professing religion and freedom relating to it underneath Article 25. 26 talks about the religious denominations, so it is a collective right. 27 talks about freedom from the taxes. So again, it is in context to the institutions and the denominations which are practicing, or rather which are promoting the religion. And 28 talks about a freedom as to religious instructions. So again, it is specifically about the educational institutions. So when we're discussing 25 to 28 as a group of articles, I say 25 is something which gives the gist and essence of what exactly the right to religion is all about. What is Article 25 speaks? Article 25 imparts the freedom of conscience, and which leads to freedom of professing, practicing, and propagating religion. So there are these 3 P's which are quite important when we basically discuss about what is freedom of conscience and what is freedom of religion. Now, to talk about 2 rights which are imbibed underneath Article 25, one is right to conscience and one is right to religion, or 3 P's concerned to religion. Let us first discuss what is this right to conscience, and basically, is this a right which is only in context to religion? The answer for this is, if it is Article 25, yes, it is in context to religion. Ratilal Gandhi versus State of Bombay was one of the cases which quite correctly stated that freedom of conscience is something which is a very gist of right to religion, because it is something which is related to the belief, which is related to a person's thoughts concerning to his or her religion. So that is how it has been stated that freedom of conscience is something which is in context to right to religion. Also, Ratilal Gandhi versus State of Bombay have been discussing about whether this right of freedom of expression, freedom of expressing the religion rather. So, 3 P's: profession, practice, and propagation of religion. Is it something which is absolute? It can be, religion can be professed, propagated, and practiced in any of the ways? The answer for this is Ratilal Gandhi versus State of Bombay, which says no. There are certain restrictions. And what are these restrictions? The first restriction is public order and morality. You cannot go against the public order and morality. For example, again in Muhammad Qureshi versus State of Bihar, it has been stated that cow slaughter cannot be an integral part of right to practice religion, because it is going against the public morality, it is going against the public order, it is going against the public health. So what is integral part and what is not integral part of a religion, freedom of religion, considering these 3 P's, is all about if it is fitting into the public order, the morality, and the public health. The second condition which has been discussed under Ratilal's case is if there are any laws relating to restrictions on financial, economic, political, and other secular activities associated with the religious practices, then there can be a restriction upon the religious freedom, and religious freedom on conscience. Three P's do have certain restrictions when it comes to the laws, which are laws under Article 13, Clause 1, 2, 3, 4 of Indian Constitution, then it definitely shall be restrictive to the parent article, that is 25. Rather, these restrictions have already been underneath Article 25. And the last restriction is social welfare and reform. So maybe Shaira Banu's case is one of the examples wherein we talk about quashing of triple talaq. That is one of the examples we can take as a reformative step by judicial interpretations. It is not about quashing the whole context of triple talaq, but it is in context to talaq ul biddat. In any ways, Islamic norms, Islamic religion have already been into interpretations that talaq ul biddat is not quite acceptable kind of talaq. So to conclude Shaira Banu's case, I would say that there was a need for a social welfare. Now, what comes to social welfare here? That category of population, the Muslim women who have been prey to instant triple talaq, talaqul biddat. The category of these women were suffering under there was an infringement of Article 21 when it was in context of right to life, right to livelihood, right to dignity, right to survival. There's so many other rights which come underneath Article 21 which can be discussed here, but then as we're very concerned and limited to Article 25, that is right to religion. This is one of the best examples wherein we say that what is essential and integral part of right to religion is this. So when it comes to Article 25, though Article 25 gives us a freedom of conscience and freedom of professing, practicing and propagating the religion, one's religion, and this is available to the citizens as well as non-citizens of India, because any person is the word used underneath Article 25. Now the question still remains, what is professing, what is practicing, and what is propagating religion? For this we have Stanley Slave revision, Stanley Slave versus State of MP. It gave us a Apex code quite sortedly gave us the meaning of these three P's. What do you mean by profession? What do you mean by practice? And what do you mean by propagation has been clearly stated underneath Stanley's case. The first, that is profession, has been interpreted by the Apex Court in this particular case is profession means to state one's creed or faith in public. So that is what freedom of conscience and religion is all about when it comes to professing religion. What is practice? Practice is to express oneself in form of public or private worship. And what is propagating? Propagating is to communicate someone's or one's belief to the public. So these three P's play a vital role when it comes to right to freedom of conscience and religion. Especially when it comes to right to religion, we cannot avoid all of these three P's, and it is a package P of three P's. Talking about 26, 27 and 28, as I say, these are the supplementary articles to the parent article, that is 25. Why do I say so? Because 26 speaks about the freedom given to the religious denominations to manage the religious affairs. And this is applicable only to those denominations which are constituted as religious denominations. In SP Mittal, it has been quietly stated, SP Mittal versus Union of India. It was considered, there were three conditions laid down by the Apex Court as to what basically the denomination or religious denomination means and what does it should include to call itself as religious denomination. The first was there has to be a collection of individuals who do have a common faith. So there needs to be a group of people coming together to have a common faith about. Now, as we're talking about the religion, common faith in that particular religion. Secondly, there needs to be a common organization. So it's just not a group of people coming together and just having a same and a common faith, but there needs to be an organization. Not only this, S.P. Mittal gave us third condition, which stated as to this organization needs to have a distinctive name. So these are three conditions. It needs to have a distinctive name, it needs to have a common organization, and this common organization needs to have a group of people who have a common faith. It's something which has been imbibed underneath Article 26 of Indian Constitution. Article 27 specifies as to the state, or Article 27 does not prohibit the state. So it gives a right basically onto the state to charge fees for regulating the secular administration of religious institutions. This was considered in Commissioner Hindu Religious Endowments, Madras versus Shri L.T. Swamiyer of Shri Yuth Math. That there is not only a right imbibed into the religious denomination or the religious institutions to have a forceful payment of tax, because Article 27 speaks about excuses and rather what you could say, not forceful payment of any tax, immunity from paying the tax and proceeds which are utilized otherwise for the promotion or maintenance of the religion. But then, as it is a right imbibed into the religious denominations or institutions, there is a restriction put in by Commissioner Hindu Religious Endowments, Madras, which states that right is also imbibed into the state, wherein the state has a supervisory power onto these religious denominations. If they are being immune from paying the tax, that particular amount should be utilized for the promotion and maintenance of that particular religion. What is Article 28? Article 28 specifies that it is a freedom from any religious instructions in educational institutions which are maintained completely out of state funds, because the preamble, the social welfare, the secularism, the state being secular, the educational institutions which are run absolutely by the state funds cannot have religious instructions. So 28 somewhere we see is a restriction laid down to the parent act, parent article, I would rather say. So it gives, definitely 28 gives a freedom as to attendance at religious instructions or religious worships in certain education institutions. But if those institutions are 100% state funded, then there becomes the restriction. It is applicable especially to the educational institutions. So 26 talks about religious denominations and 28 talks about the educational institutions. So this is what Article 25, 26, 27 and 28 specifies about the right to religion. 25 is the parent article, I say. It gives us what basically the package of 3 P's: profession, practice and propagation of religion. 26 gives the right to religious denominations to be established. Religious denominations can manage their own affairs, administer the property which they can acquire, movable, immovable property. 27 gives immunity from certain taxes for promotion of any particular religion. And 28 gives a freedom as to attendance at religious instructions or religious worship in certain educational institutions with certain restrictions, as we talked about. So this is all about right to religion from my side. Thank you.